This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is Mike Donnell.
This is Casey Wilbanks-Coletti.
And this is Sophia Aguila. Welcome to the Wisdom by WESA podcast on the Horse Radio Network.
This podcast is brought to you by the Western and English Sales Association, WESA, which provides the world's largest trade events for retailers, manufacturers, and sales representatives of the equestrian industry. In this podcast, we feature exclusive interviews and noteworthy Western English personalities, retailers, and exhibitors who you've always wanted to talk to. Don't miss out on all the news for manufacturers and retailers in the equine industry. In this episode, we speak with Sophia about WESA's big relocation news and get more insight from Cindy Morris, CEO of the DMC, and Katie Kaufman, VP of Multimedia Communications. You can listen to Wisdom by WESA on most of your favorite podcast players. You can also listen to the Horse Radio Network app on your iOS or Android phone. Just search Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and it's super easy to use. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. Sophia, hi.
Hey.
So the Western and English Sales Association has just announced the relocation of its WESA markets to the Dallas Market Center beginning January of 2021. Tell us a little bit about when did this relocation process start?
Yeah, big news. So the WESA Board of Directors has been looking into relocation for the WESA markets for almost 2 years now. So they've been putting a lot of energy and effort into finding a location that really matches WESA's values. So as an association, they have traveled to multiple places and compared numerous facilities and venues. So of course that took some time. But now after almost 2 years of research, WESA's markets found a new home.
So what was the driving force that kind of prompted the start to looking into a new relocation?
Well, really with the changing environment of the retail business and of course with our mission of bringing the Western English industry together, we needed to relocate in order to create new opportunities and, of course, to ensure the success for sales representatives, exhibitors, retailers, and, of course, the association itself.
And so you narrowed it down, and WESA chose the Dallas Market Center. Why was that the final choice?
The Denver Market Center is really a superior facility compared to all of the other ones that we have had contact with and have visited. It's a good value for everyone involved, especially because the travel costs are so much lower. And the relocation to Dallas will truly strengthen the markets and give manufacturers, retailers more opportunities. For example, more product categories.
This is a big change, and I'm sure you've already received some feedback. What is it sounding like so far?
We have gotten mostly positive feedback, but there is, of course, some people who have been disappointed with the move, but overall it's been very positive. Ropers Carrie Bastine, for example, shared, "Great job on putting the needs of the Western industry before the needs of the individual." So, yeah, but mostly it's just positive feedback.
Awesome. So now the move is not till January of 2021, but from here forward, what are the next steps?
Right. So WESA's next markets will still take place in Denver until the relocation in 2021 to Dallas. And until then, it's really just business as usual. But don't forget that starting in June, our September markets will move to June. So that's going to be June 19th through the 21st of 2019.
Okay. So exciting. I'm excited to get into more of this today on the show. And I'm a firm believer that to grow, you must have change. And sometimes change can be hard, but it sounds like so far it's a positive movement and it's going to be great for everybody involved.
Right. It's really nice that most people really understand why we're moving and that it's going to be a good thing in the end.
Hey, everybody who's listening to Wisdom by WESA. Big announcement in the last few days. WESA show is moving from Denver to Dallas. There's been a lot of excitement among the retail and the exhibitor community. We wanted to bring some of that to you. We are excited today to bring you a guest from the exhibitor world, and that's Jenna Garza with Outdoor Crew. Jenna, welcome to Wisdom by WESA.
Thank you. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Tell us a bit about your company, and then we'll talk about your perspective on having WESA move down to Texas.
So I am with Outdoor Crew, and Outdoor Crew is a men's apparel company. We specialize in just men's clothing. The majority of our business started off with hats, and we have moved into T-shirts, and we're going to be doing some dress shirts as well. Our company is based out of Texas. We have been a member with WESA for probably about 3 or 4 years. We've picked up some great clients there, and WESA has been a really great show. We've picked up clients from all throughout the whole the world, from Hawaii to Australia to Mexico, even Nicaragua, I believe.
Well, that's exciting. Now, as an exhibitor, what excites you about moving from Denver to Dallas, other than it's closer? We understand that.
So I believe that with being in the Western world, there's Western stores all across the United States. I understand that, but being in the Western world, the southern parts of the United States, or your real Western states. So I believe it's going to bring in a lot more different customers. I myself have some customers out of Oklahoma with, several department stores that have never been to WESA, but now they're very excited that WESA is going to be in the southern state, and they'll be attending the Dallas show.
Well, I think that was one of the major reasons for making that change. Do you foresee anything you'll be doing different other than shorter travel time? What you'll be doing different when we bring the show to your back door?
Well, before I've tried to cater to all across the world, and I'll still continue to do that as we're growing our apparel company. But the southern states carry different clothing, different style of they do business a different way than other places, and we're excited. Not only them but other customers that have never been to WESA are very excited, and that everybody's going to Dallas, because Dallas has several markets throughout the year, and we attend several markets in Dallas. The facility is great. We just love being there.
Well, and I think we look forward to having you there. Casey, anything else you want to add?
Well, I think it's safe to say that moving this show there is kind of moving it down into the heart of the Western world, as you were quoted saying. And there seems to be that will have a lot of benefits for the WESA show being there. Would you agree?
Oh, yes. I have several friends of mine that own other apparel companies that have never been to WESA because they didn't feel that it was in the heart of the Western world. But now that we're going to be in Dallas, everyone is excited. I myself, with my friends that own the different companies, I've already gotten probably about 5 to 6 vendors that is extremely excited, that ready for the move.
Yeah. Do you feel personally, this would be just a personal opinion, that you will be able to gain more retailers with having the move down to Dallas?
Oh, without a doubt. I have a strong clientele in the Dallas area and all throughout the southern states. And I believe that those southern states that have never made it to WESA because of the commute, or because they felt like their style did not fit maybe the scenery or anything like that around the Denver area. But I feel that being in the southern state, I believe it's going to bring bigger clients, more clients that are in the Western world that have never got a chance to do that. They probably are going to feel more comfortable in Dallas.
Dallas, yeah. Well, it sounds like everybody's really excited. It sounds like you're definitely excited. You mentioned that your current retailers are extremely excited about the move, and I just think there's a lot of positive to come. And we're thankful you were able to come on and share your viewpoint from a vendor's perspective about the move. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we have 2 more exciting guests directly related to the big announcement of a few days ago that WESA is moving from Denver to Dallas, and specifically to the Dallas Market Center. We have with us today two people from that facility, Cindy Morris, the CEO, as well as Katie Kaufman, who handles multimedia communications. Cindy, Katie, welcome Wisdom by WESA.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
And there's been a lot of talk about this. A lot of the listeners to this show, a lot of the people who go to WESA, they're not the major brand people we all think of off the top of our head. A lot of really good, aggressive, mid, small size brands and retailers. And I think they're the group who will be most interested in learning about what you have to offer, how they work with you. Why don't you just kind of give us an overview from their perspective of what they can expect when they begin to arrive and come to the first show in Dallas?
We're a marketplace that has a ton of merchandise of Western resources. They're gathered just on a few floors of our large World Trade Center, but we also offer a lot of additional categories of products. So retailers can buy into apparel categories or even down into holiday products and gifts and other resources to really help make them thrive. And I think as we're talking to people in the industry, as those, mid-size retailers, diversifying their product mix is really important these days. And truly, we see DMC as a one-stop shop for that.
Well, I think I'm certain, especially in the Dallas, Oklahoma, Southwest market, everybody is familiar with your facility, may well have been there. But let's say you are either a brand or a retailer from Des Moines, and you've not been there. I went to the website. It is huge. You have a huge facility, but it could almost be verging on overwhelming. What I'm looking for is a way for that guy from Des Moines or that woman from Lincoln to immediately become comfortable, familiar, and know how to work within that facility. If that question makes sense, and you've probably had it with other shows as well, but from our listener standpoint, what's the best way for them to begin to get a grasp of how to leverage what you have to offer?
Yeah, sure, Mike. And you're right. I mean, our facility is large. I mean, we're over 5 million square feet, but we've made wayfinding and navigation of our facilities a high priority for those retailers, from all over the United States. We have our mobile app is supported by plentiful signage. We have large-scale floor maps. We have information booths on the floors that are actually staffed by our DMC associates, and those are throughout the buildings to assist buyers and sellers more efficiently throughout the property. Our floor plans are anchored. We have centralized atriums and consistent aisleways on each floor, so those can enable a quick orientation. But the real bottom line is that the floor plans, they're big, but they always lead back to the central atrium. And so it is a high priority for us to make sure that the retailers and the exhibitors that come here can easily navigate this facility.
And, Cindy's exactly right. With the centralized atrium, it really does make it pretty convenient for people to come inside the building. And for our exhibitors, our DMC team will work alongside WESA to ensure that we not only educate and make the process simple, but really more simple for the retailers. And I think that you'll find that we offer assistance every step of the way to make the Dallas experience really top notch. And I have to say, we do have a reputation as the friendliest and the most helpful marketplace in the U.S.
With the move not happening until January of 2021, how do you envision DMC and WESA working together over the next 2 years to, say, enlighten the retailers and brands about the facility and the new move?
Well, Casey, our number one goal, and I think that WESA concurs with this, is to create an easy and cost-effective environment for retailers to shop and for exhibitors to show. So we both have numerous communication vehicles as well as markets over the next 2 years to promote and show the extraordinary environment we're creating. But the other key group that we really have to help us are those sales reps who do an amazing job of working the road and building relationships with their customers.
And I think from the buyer's perspective, the Dallas difference means experiencing a revitalized event that will be both familiar and a little bit different too. Familiar in the sense that all the big names will be here, but different in that it's a new location with new options, new opportunities, and a great way to discover new products. All of us here feel that this transition will result in more buyers wanting to see the show and make the trip to Dallas.
And speaking specifically about the show, once they are there, can you talk about some of the special amenities, exhibit space features, move in, move out processes, or anything specifically that would appeal to the exhibitors?
Sure. We think exhibitors are going to be pleasantly surprised at how easy we make it in Dallas. Our temporary exhibitors tell us that compared with other shows, we offer better communication, we have a more efficient process, and we have more amenities such as strong Wi-Fi, we have plentiful food outlets. And on top of that, when the WESA shows launch in Dallas, we'll have a new space for the event on the 11th floor of the World Trade Center. So it's going to be like moving into that new home that's created with you in mind.
Exactly, especially with WESA in mind. You're exactly right, Cindy. And really, Casey, we'll devote immense energy to the processes of move in and move out with the goal of not only reducing time, but cost and stress. Dallas Market Center, we own all of our facilities, which provides maximum flexibility and enables us to support events unlike facilities that are rented. So we see ourselves as a partner with WESA in the move in and move out processes, and thus we share obviously the same goals with them. The exhibition space in the World Trade Center is being completely renovated, just as Cindy mentioned, and will be supported by multiple elevators, escalators, and importantly, and something pretty shiny, new LED lighting offering superior illumination for all of the exhibitors.
Well, it sounds like it's very turnkey, and that should be a very positive aspect for the exhibitors looking to travel there to the DMC. Now, what other Western-focused activities are hosted at the DMC besides and maybe in addition to your Western Trend Fashion Show?
Yes. Well, speaking of our Western Trend Fashion Show, that's something that's dear to me, and I love our Western events so much at Dallas Market Center. Not only do we have really great events during our markets like the fashion shows, but I have to say our events team here, they're really amazing. They already produce large-scale fashion events during our apparel and accessories markets. And for the Western markets, they create Western fashion shows that are really fun. They're energetic and inspiring too. During the shows, which often also includes entertainment and guest stars, the exhibitors, they receive lots of promotion for their products, but we also show new trends. And I think that's a great way for us to help our buyers see how to create head-to-toe looks for displays. Wouldn't you say, Cindy?
Absolutely, Katie. And speaking of displays, our merchandising and events team also makes sure that we support exhibitors with vignettes of products that can help drive traffic and awareness. We also add elements like a live morning show hosted by Katie and broadcasting from the atrium. We have walking tours and trend seminars that are open to all buyers so that when buyers come to Dallas in 2021, they won't just enter a venue. They're going to come into an inspiring marketplace that's been designed to help them with their product selection and trends and merchandising.
Another question, and having been to the Denver show on multiple occasions, a lot of the major brands held off-site social functions for their retailers in Denver. Is that something that is common in Dallas as well, or can you assist them in putting together those kind of entertainment events for their retailers on an invitation-only basis?
Well, Mike, as I like to say, everything's bigger in Texas. And one thing Dallas is really known for is entertaining and hosting events, even in nearby venues, right, Cindy?
Yes, that's right. And let me mention that the Dallas Market Center has 17 hotels that are part of our preferred hotel plan. And they have thousands of hotel rooms that are within walking distance of the campus. And during our major markets, the area is alive with special events and market parties.
And also, speaking of those parties that we throw not only right here at the Market Center, but we have really big facilities like Gillies, that's just 3 miles away, smaller reception sites all around us, and more great restaurants, including many of the top steakhouses in the U.S., just minutes from the Market Center.
And another question, if you go to Denver, you've been to Denver show like I have, you don't know from one year to the next if it's going to be balmy and 60 or it's going to be cold and 16. What's the normal weather like in January in Dallas?
Well, we might get some cold weather here, but the odds are that there'll be very few travel delays and it will be much better weather in Dallas. Let me put it this way. During the opening day of the January WESA show this year, The high temperature here in Dallas was in the upper 40s. We only have about 14 days a year that are below freezing. And of course, it does get hot in the summertime, but the travel plans and the exhibitor move in and move out are rarely impacted by the weather here.
Well, you seem to have put together, way before WESA, you put together a concept and a facility that supports businesses where brands and their retailers get together. I think probably the brands and the retailers who are part of WESA will find it a very productive facility. My guess is that there will be brands and retailers who haven't been part of WESA that are going to find what you do fairly attractive.
Yeah, I absolutely think they will. I mean, we have a long history of putting together events and bringing retailers and exhibitors together here in Dallas. And, let me close with just a word or two about our two organizations. We both share a rich history when we share an important mission. And we're going to work together tirelessly to ensure that the shows in Dallas are world class. I mean, I know that you're going to agree that now more than ever, retailers deserve a show that has great products, but it also helps them remain competitive. And together with WESA, we're going to do that in Dallas.
We're really excited, Mike and Casey, as we look toward the future and the successful show that we're going to have with WESA in 2021.
Well, I think it's going to be great, and I suspect that from time to time, we're going to have you come back on so we can have update and progress reports for our listeners as we get closer to that first 2021 show.
We'll be here. We're excited.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time,
Thanks
ladies.
both.
The show notes for today's show and the links are on wisdombywesa.com, a website for this show. And of course, we'd always like to have your feedback. If you have a question you'd like to ask or a comment, there's a contact link on that website again, which is Wisdom by WESA.
The Wisdom by WESA show will be published on the 15th and 30th of every month. You can listen on most of your favorite podcast players, and you can also listen on the Horse Radio Network app on your iOS or Android phone. You just search the Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and it's super easy to use. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. Thanks for listening to the Wisdom by WESA podcast. WESA, where the industry meets.